23-year-old Amari Johnson was waiting for some friends outside of an apartment building in La Mesa when Officer Matthew Dagus started questioning him. This was in May of 2020, just 2 days after the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis. And what happened next would become a local flashpoint in the broader reckoning over racial justice. Johnson, who was black, answered the officer's questions. That's when Dagus, who was white, grabbed Johnson's shirt. The exchange was captured on the officer's body camera.
You look goofy as hell, bro. Stop touching me, bro.
Dagus then pushed Johnson onto a concrete bench multiple times before arresting him.
I have no reason to be detained by you, bro.
Sit down.
Bro, stop. Sit down.
Bystander video of the incident went viral. Days later, the city of La Mesa was engulfed in protests that turned into riots. Johnson was never charged. Dagus, meanwhile, was fired after an internal investigation found he made false statements in his arrest report. Then, last year, he lost his statewide peace officer certification for good. That means he can no longer be a cop anywhere in California. Dagus did not respond to multiple requests for comment. Johnson recently told KPBS he was relieved that Dagus had lost his badge.
I was hoping that he wasn't going to be able to be an officer anywhere else. But honestly, with knowing my experience with him, he was just going to go ahead and do the same thing to somebody else in a different area.
Several years ago, state lawmakers created a system for decertifying officers who commit acts of serious misconduct or are convicted of certain crimes. The law aimed to address the so-called wandering officer problem, where some cops would bounce from one department to another, leaving behind a trail of bad behavior.
We're hoping to bring forth a fair and equitable and transparent way of removing officers who have broken the law, broke public trust.
Stephen Bradford is the former state senator who authored the legislation. California, at the time, was one of few states without a decertification process. Bradford says the state needed to catch up.
There's bad doctors, there's bad teachers, there's bad elected officials. We have to accept the fact that there are bad police officers.
The decertification system launched in 2023. From the start, it was inundated with misconduct reports and complaints. Some incidents went back decades. So far, the state has decertified nearly 300 officers. Many others have had their certifications suspended while being investigated. So accountability under the law is happening, albeit slowly. There are still over 18,000 open cases.
And so that's just a massive number of reports to sift through.
Anne Marie Del Minayo is with the California Commission on Peace Officer Standards and Training, or POST. The commission is in charge of both certifying and decertifying officers, but POST has struggled to hire investigators. That's created a backlog of cases. The result could mean justice delayed or justice expired.
The concern with that is that we have a statute of limitations. So from the time the agency submits their final report to POST, we have 3 years within which we have to complete our review and make a determination.
If that statute of limitations expires, bad cops might remain on the force. Del Minayo says POST is working to make the process more efficient, but police accountability advocates are worried. Michali Woodson is the legal director for the San Diego-based organization Pillars of the Community.
Any step towards holding those bad actors accountable is progress and is success, even if that doesn't feel like enough for our community members. It is a step in the right direction. But I do know that there's so much more that needs to be done.
Woodson says any delay in punishing bad officers could further erode trust with communities that already distrust the system. Scott Rodd, KPBS News.
Trailhand Bill, reporting live from South Florida. Y'all, I'm back in Pembroke Pine at my spot, man. I love it, man. I wasn't able to get my things for my vehicle, so I don't have I keep a chair in my car. So when I come to parks and stuff, I can just chill out. It's beautiful out here. I had this story, man. I actually mentioned it in one of my videos because I seen it. I didn't see the video. It actually popped up in my news clippings. You know what I mean? Kind of check the news every once in a while, the print articles on my homepage. And I knew I wanted to look further into this. What they didn't mention and they do mention it in the print article, which I'll leave the link, Lord willing, in the pinned comment and or description, is that they already have like a huge backlog of officer cases that are about to expire. Meaning, what they did mention in this video is that even though they do have legitimate complaints against these officers, nothing's going to be done about it because they didn't get around to investigating them. So I'm confused. Why? Who are they hiring? Is this just another? I'm not going to look into it, but the lady running the agency, the other lady running the other agency, the senator who tried to get this program or law or whatever set up, he ain't even no senator no more. But like, who are you hiring? Are these police officers or are these civilians that you're hiring to investigate these officers? Because why can't you hire anybody? People need jobs out here in America right now. We know there's a lot going on with the economy. I don't pay enough attention to try to talk about that in detail, but it's gonna be hard pressed for me to believe that people don't want jobs. And so my mind goes back to knowing how our government and even more specifically their minions, the beat patrol Johnnies, operate. I wouldn't be surprised to find out it's them, and they just aren't taking the positions to further delay the process. And then you got this chick at the end talking about, oh, any progress is a step in the right direction. I won't call you some names I'm not allowed to based on my faith. You want to tell that to some of these people who still have to go to graveyards and gravestones and put flowers down and clean up for their loved ones because cops done did this or that, or people who may be maimed or, you know, just got PTSD from encounters with these cowards? Who are you? Like, what do they call it? It's something I can't think of right now, but like, what investment do you have into this personally, psychologically, emotionally? I ain't talking about like you work for this shit, so you trying to get some things done. No, bitch, what have you put in the fire to sit here and tell us as Americans, to tell Californians that any progress is something? Bitch, we don't agree with you. I'm me for we for me. For all the people behind your ass that agree with you and all that damn makeup you got on your face, man, no shout out to y'all. But that shit was insulting for you to sit right there in that motherfucking chair safe as hell saying any progress is enough. Y'all crazy as hell, fam. Now, I will applaud California for the officers that they got out there, but if y'all done got 300 out of here, how many have slipped through the cracks, man? Wandering officers are not a new phenomenon in our country, man. And the more I hear things about this and I watch you, I ain't know nothing about the whole white-black angle. Y'all got to blame that on them. I always say I just picked these stories. I picked this story because they were talking about them setting up a process to get these rogue-ass officers out of here. I didn't know they were from the beginning of the video talking about that situation happened with that white cop and the black young man. Because, I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you, big dog? And did y'all hear why they fired him, why they decertified him? Not because he attacked an innocent American, not because he's contributing to the racist rhetoric in our country and the racist activity, but because he lied in the reports. What about him attacking that dude? What about him jacking him up like he was somebody's son or something? Like that was his son or something? Man, listen, fam. So, I'm Trailhand Bill again. I know I said that because I'm trying to monitor my emotional tone in these stories and in these videos. But big dog, you walking up to people like, it's almost like I'd rather you slap me, fam, or punch me or something than just kind of grab my shirt like I'm your child or something, big dog. And y'all kind of look to be around the same age. So what if he would have just defended himself like he had every legal right to? And so when they got to that story and they said that was 2 days after George Floyd was murdered, and I know there are conflicting opinions about that, like everything else, but then they say, yo, it turned into a riot and they flipped that shit upside. I'm with all of that, big dog. This is the first story I think I ever covered because I stayed away from the George thing, Floyd thing, rest in peace to him, prayers and condolences to his loved ones. I stayed away from the Tyree Nichols thing. It's a lot of those things I stay away from. But the ones that I've seen and heard about, nobody really do nothing. So when these people going out here, you know what I mean? People like, yeah, but y'all tearing up, so y'all thugs and y'all, man, fuck you, fam. You lucky we ain't tear your ass up. Because that's what I be like. Lord, forgive me, I know what I mean? But I'm saying, y'all lucky we not tearing ass up. You lucky all they're doing is tearing up property. Now, do those protests probably could use some more organization than what? I don't know, because I wasn't there, Negro, but what I can tell you, you out here brutalizing, attacking American public and shit. Boy, your ass is lucky that they're just destroying property. And I'm not against anybody's highly emotional response, because they ain't killed no damn body. They ain't killed nobody. Y'all do that. And then you want us to look at them like they're criminals. And I'm saying, let me start saying them. I ain't been in it, so I don't want to try to attach myself to something that's not mine, but I am them. So when we respond like that, just tearing some shit up, y'all want to look at us like we the criminals after y'all have literally torn up human lives? All right. I don't know what God got planned. I'm looking at such a damn beautiful view. I might put a picture of it in this video, but I will tell you what. Every time y'all really ready to stop talking to these motherfuckers while they killing us, I'm in South Florida. Y'all be good.
23-year-old Amari Johnson was waiting for some friends outside of an apartment building in La Mesa when Officer Matthew Davis started questioning him. This was in May of 2020, just 2 days after the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis. And what happened next would become a local flashpoint in the broader reckoning over racial justice. Johnson, who was black, answered the officer's questions. That's when Davis, who was white, grabbed Johnson's shirt. The exchange was captured on the officer's body camera.
You look goofy as hell, bro. Stop touching me, bro.
Davis then pushed Johnson onto a concrete bench multiple times before arresting him.
I have no reason to be detained by you, bro.
Sit down.
Bro, stop.
Sit down.
Bystander video of the incident went viral. Days later, the city of La Mesa was engulfed in protests that turned into riots. Johnson was never charged. Davis, meanwhile, was fired after an internal investigation found he made false statements in his arrest report. Then, last year, he lost his statewide peace officer certification for good. That means he can no longer be a cop anywhere in California. Davis did not respond to multiple requests for comment. Johnson recently told KPBS he was relieved that Davis had lost his badge.
I was hoping that he wasn't going to be able to be an officer anywhere else. But honestly, with knowing my experience with him, he was just going to go ahead and do the same thing to somebody else in a different area.
No word on his oath dishonoring colleagues that stood right there and not only watched but assisted his coward ass. Par for the course, these psychos. Thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. If you care to go a little further than that, maybe even subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out a few of the other videos on the channel. Either way, y'all be safe.